Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to get into a very interesting conversation about a couple of the RWA plays that I favor quite a bit. And we'll talk about kind of where my head's at. And I'll give you my honest opinion as we dive into 2025 a little deeper. And I said for months now, this is the year of the RWA. And what we're seeing right now on the chart is extremely bullish for a lot of top cryptos. We're going to look at that as well. And I'll get you guys headed in the right direction. Let's get it going. All right. But please remember, none of this is financial advice. Always be sure to do your own research and due diligence. We'll talk HBAR and ONDO Finance. All right, so we're going to dive into the RWA world. We will kick this video off by looking into the crypto bubbles as we look at the top 100, and you can kind of see what we're looking at as we are kind of retreating here as we get into Tuesday. And this will be something as we still talk about Bitcoin, $2.38 trillion market cap. It's holding strong right below 120,000. Ethereum is one of the stories that we have been talking about. Now 3,700. A little bit below that actually, but yeah, so this is one where we're going to be talking about tokenized assets and kind of how this all plays a role and commingles as we want to dive into the conversation. Would you rather have Hedera HBAR or ONDO Finance? Now, HBAR at 2686 and ONDO, as we look at it, this has been one that's been fun to track, guys. One of my favorite cryptos here out in the space. And as we look at ONDO, okay, and I want to talk to you about it as it is now 36 in market cap. A little bit more of a retreat, but we've been saying this, and I'll never tell you guys to buy or sell crypto, okay? But as I was looking at dead in the barrel, ONDO Finance underneath $1 was one of those just kind of too good to be true valuations that I had personally, okay? So as we do look at it on the year, there was a time period back before 2025 hit that you could have got ONDO Finance in that 50 to 60 cents territory, okay? And now looking at it at $1.62, no, it is not the $2.04 level that we did recently hit that yearly high as we talk about the December month before we hit 2025. And then since from then, guys, we retreated down into the territory that we were talking about, sub 70 cents, even down as low as 64.79 was that low point in the last month or so. So this is kind of what we got going on. I want to tell you exactly how I feel about it. And now that ONDO is trading above $1, it just kind of really sets a table kind of how I've felt about it these last few months as we did call for ONDO to eventually hit $1. And here we are. Okay, so let's get into this debate. We'll share with you guys my thoughts. Please stick around to the end. And also, if you are a spot or leverage trader out there in the market and you want a new sign up bonus, okay, this is where you can get a 10% first time deposit bonus at BTCC to go alongside 40% lower trading, 40% lower trading fees by using my link, and also trade up to 500x leverage. Okay, I'm not going to endorse that. I'm not going to say that's something smart to do, but nonetheless, if you guys want to do it, it is a feature of BTCC. There will be a link down below. You can sign up using that link. Just understand their terms and conditions, where you're located, and please run it through your due diligence before making any trades. Okay, so let's look at it. Which altcoin could lead the next surge? All right, we're going to be talking RWAs, and as it relates to the CoinMarketCap listing, very interesting to note how many top cryptos are in the top 100 that are in some form or fashion, they are in the category and niche of RWA. So this sector has been one that's booming. You look at treasuries, stocks, bonds, as well as kind of what we've been moving into even real estate, okay? This is just definitely a sector within cryptocurrency that I think is leading the charge with innovation. You can put this one right alongside AI. I think personally, in today's world and where the governments and regulations are kind of moving to, reading between the tea leaves, RWA, I think, is kind of setting the table, in my personal opinion, for the next big mover within cryptocurrency. Okay, so as we look at the top board, we'll talk Stellar, Chainlink, HBAR, Avalanche, ONDO, Algorand, VeChain makes up the top 50 RWA cryptos out there in the space. A couple interesting ones to note, a little bit deeper down the board that I do favor is Quant, XDC, Injective, and then you can also kind of add in Pendle to that to go alongside Maple and Axelar. Okay, and that would pretty much leave my entire listings of which RWA cryptos I do favor, but we'll talk about kind of what we're looking at. If you guys watch my stuff a lot, you'll know that I also do like Chainlink quite a bit. And now that Chainlink is trading at $20, this is one where just calling it what it is, guys. This was a $10 or less crypto at one point just recently. All right, so doubling almost in value. Gotta love me some Link, and it's been on a pretty nice run here in the last 7 days, up 22% as well. All right, so as we talk HBAR and ONDO, you can kind of see here a little bit more modest, as it's only been 13, 14% respectively over the last 7-day time period. And as we look at the last 24 hours, seeing some corrections, right? Down 6 and 5.5% respectively for these top cryptos, but trading still above $1 for ONDO, and still HBAR is at that 25, 26 cents range, okay? So which one will have the next surge? Now, I will preface this kind of breakdown, and my thesis about this is just simply if ONDO or HBAR both go, ONDO has a little bit different headway due to the fact that they could have a little bit of a tailwind from United States government. That's a whole different conversation. But if HBAR is going up, I think all tides rise together as it relates to RWAs. I would not see a world where one of these two outperforms each other unless there is something just significant coming out where we know the close partnerships that ONDO Finance has with the United States government. So that could be something within that Trump administration that would propel ONDO a little bit deeper into kind of gains versus HBAR. But outside of that, we need to talk about kind of how we look at these altcoins, and within the rapid growth that we have been seeing, the buzz is kind of picking up some steam. All right, which of these large caps could make a move and lead the next crypto surge? Now, ONDO, as we talk about how they've wanted to bring treasury bills, the real estate world, as well as currencies onto the blockchain, they could benefit directly from this Clarity Act that did just recently pass, separating tokens into either commodities or securities. Now, if ONDO is classified as a commodity, it would fall under the CFTC, which has been a lot more favorable for crypto regulation in recent times. Okay. But we know about ONDO, their close partnerships with BlackRock, and also how that's going to play a role. I think that's kind of their largest catalyst outside the United States government, how that will help bring tokenized U.S. Treasury bills into fruition, okay? So keep that in mind as they look to make real-world assets digital moving forward. Now, HBAR, this is where it gets a little interesting because they don't only dabble into that, but they also have a world within stablecoins and AI and HBAR, right? Over the last year, up over almost 4x on the last 365 days, focusing building tools for stablecoin issuance, offering banks a secure, compliant way to launch digital currencies, and also they're making waves in the world of AI, okay? So that's going to be where we have variable computing systems much more efficiently and kind of running up to par. As we talk about HBAR, looking like it is, as one analyst has said, coiled like a spring, okay? And I think that's kind of where, if we look at the HBAR chart, and you can kind of fill in the blanks on this one, but as it ranks 15th in market cap, I think this is still, in my opinion, just still waiting to make its move, as HBAR, I think one day does hit $1 and above. It's just, for some reason, it's not a flashy play, right? Very similar to what we talk about within Cardano. It's just not the sexy car on the lot that everybody gravitates to, but it's still intrinsically very fundamental. I like a lot of their fundamentals, their technicals, when we do look at the charts. And as we talk about how it's been trading, it's, a lot of periods of unrest, sideways action, followed up by a lot of vicious volatility. And that's kind of what has been the storyline dating back basically since the start of 2025. And you do want to look back into kind of what we saw in 2021 in the last cycle, how we essentially traded at the same kind of historical basis, right? Around that 10 cents level, getting as high and upwards of 45 cents, and then all of a sudden falling down, and for not really a falling victim to anything else, but just the broader market. That's where HBAR found itself trading under 6 cents at one point, as we look back at the July month of 2022, okay? So putting that all together, what it basically spells out is HBAR can hit 50 cents, okay? That's just foregone conclusion. That did that back in 2021. Here we are 4 years later with a lot more steam, a lot more momentum in the overall market. And here we are, guys, in a way better time to trade crypto. HBAR is still hovering around 25 cents in that range. So there is a lot of upside for both of these cryptos as it relates to HBAR, though. in one form or fashion. You kind of have to look into it as being a sleeping giant, as it only really is trading here at a $11+ billion market cap. I think this is one that can significantly make a move even into the top 10 one day. Just very bullish on both of these cryptos. Like I said, I'll never tell you to buy or sell a crypto. You have to do what's best for you financially. This is not financial advice, but I feel very strongly for my own personal investing strategy in both HBAR and ONDO Finance. So what better way to compare and contrast these two cryptos, basically outside of asking the question, who wins in the next altcoin surge? Okay, this is where we look at the ways that both of these projects vary and compare to each other. Okay, and I think as you look at it, ONDO leads in real world asset tokenization, and HBAR kind of separates itself in stablecoins and AI. So if you fancy a couple of those subsectors more than others, then that kind of would, in my opinion, be that tiebreaker for you guys. However, as we look at the real world valuations, and you want to talk about kind of where ONDO's at, the one thing I'll tell you about them is they have not been around for as long as HBAR. Okay, so they did not experience a bull run back in 2021. So that's something where we really don't know how high their peaks can go. Okay, so that being said, if you want to talk about kind of where ONDO's at, do you see a world where ONDO hits $4, $5? Sure. Okay, but I also see a world where HBAR hits that $2, $3 level, and that's something very significant. As we look at a 4, 5, 6 cents crypto at one point, just in recent times, that has the very strong possibility to see a very nice surge here if we do get another altcoin season. And I will kind of preface this all and conclude with what we've been looking at as we talk about kind of what we've seen within essentially just the season that we're trading crypto in. Altcoin season is shifting very, very fastly as we look at the Bitcoin dominance, now sitting at 50. I remember doing videos a couple weeks ago, and that level was at 30. So as fear and greed still remains high, the altcoin season kind of indication here, as we are dead set in the middle, very neutral between Bitcoin and altcoins. So please keep that in mind. All right. So if we do see a little bit of a retreat from BTC, that's something that could vault and essentially allow HBAR, ONDO, and a lot of your favorite altcoins to experience the same similar success here as we get deeper into 2025. So ultimately, who wins? Well, you got to ask yourself that question, okay? But I do think if RWAs take off, both of these cryptos can experience different, but the same success down the road, and that's kind of why I'm favorable on HBAR and ONDO alike. So I want to leave you guys with that. Appreciate you all tuning in. If you have not done so by now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Please watch us every single day. Make sure that notification bell is turned on. And I do post a lot of cool stuff on X as well. So if you want to find me on X, my handle is in the bottom left of your screen. But with that, I'll leave you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.